Hello, my name is John Yorkin and I'm with GE Analytical Instruments. I've been involved with the topic of cleaning validation most of my career, and I wanted to share with you some key insights regarding the implementation of total organic carbon for this application. In 2005, the United States Food and Drug Administration indicated to the pharmaceutical industry that TOC can be an acceptable method for detecting residues from the cleaning process. However, since 1993, the industry has viewed methods to detect these residues as product-specific methods and has often struggled with trying to find a guiding light, a roadmap, or a complete implementation for TOC based on a simplified framework. Based on the pharmaceutical industry's unique challenges, which I've experienced myself, GE Analytical Instruments has developed a cleaning validation framework that redefines the implementation of TOC for cleaning process validation. This framework focuses on defining TOC as a process-specific method, rather than a traditional product-specific approach like HPLC. By shifting this focus from products to processes, companies can effectively and efficiently implement TOC for cleaning validation without getting stuck with limits equations, fear of product solubility, and worrying about if a non-specific method is okay for this application. At this moment, your current approach to cleaning validation might be costing you more than you may realize. The framework that I previously mentioned is based on the FDA's Process Validation Lifecycle approach, where there are unique validation phases that include design, qualification, and continued verification. To implement TOC effectively, there are 7 steps within the design phase that can ensure a successful transition. They are 1, the intended use of the production equipment based on your unique process. 2, cleaning agents and compounds that are part of the process. 3, establishing acceptance criteria based on the cleaning process. 4, recovery studies. 5, TOC sampling, swab or rinse for the qualification and continued verification phases. 6, analytical instrument qualification following USP guidelines. And finally, 7, additional method validation steps based on recommendations from ICH Q2R1. But did you know more than 70% of pharmaceutical manufacturers have stopped their TOC implementation in the design phase because they don't realize the impact TOC will have on the remaining phases? It's very important to recognize TOC's impact on the production equipment that will be qualified during the cleaning process, and if the validated state is maintained over time during the continued verification phase, also known as routine monitoring. For example, traditional product-specific methods like HPLC have been designed to treat solubility of compounds with solvents, derive limits based on active pharmaceutical ingredients, and perform recovery testing based on surface areas described in limit equations. TOC is different and requires a different approach to measure the performance of the cleaning process for the production equipment that is making the products. And this could be any product. If you think about it, many companies using cleaning agents to make compounds more soluble with critical parameters like temperature, time, and shifting the pH. With this approach, it's important to compare how well the process is performing or capable of performing to the acceptance criteria established for that process. And TOC is one of those tools that can measure this process performance or capability. Again, with this shift in thinking, cost savings for implementation and effectiveness of the cleaning process is dramatically improved. Another benefit of this framework is that it captures the full lifecycle approach with cleaning validation, especially the topics of production equipment qualification. Equipment PQs include cleaning cycles that typically have a series of tests and visual observations. However, by using TOC for these tests, some companies are finding that they can shorten their once prolonged cleaning process and delayed schedules due to qualification testing. How are they doing this, you might ask? They are shifting the focus in testing to the process rather than the products. By using TOC out on the production floor, sampling, analyzing, and reporting results at the process with portable technologies removes a tremendous amount of variability from the process that determines success or failure of the production equipment PQs. Have you ever failed annual routine swab samples for continued verification? If yes, did this bottleneck production, invalidate sample plans, and put analyst qualifications or training status under a microscope? The same shift of focus for TOC as a process-specific method for sampling, analysis, and reporting at the process is a great enabler for product changeovers or continued verification. However, if there is a true failure of the cleaning process, one can start to evaluate the other phases of the cleaning validation framework described earlier. Our time during this session focused on thinking about TOC as a process-specific method and how that method can be implemented with a very simple framework. That said, this type of implementation requires activities, resources, a change in perceptions, and the opportunity to generate ideas. At times, most of these implementations require a cross-functional team to make it a cost-effective success. What's important to remember is that cleaning is a process, regardless of what types of products you are making. This process needs to be validated and needs a set of measurement tools to ensure a consistent and effective performance. When you shift the focus of TOC's applicability in cleaning validation from a product-centric approach to a process approach, the benefits and rewards can be endless within the regulatory environment. After all, without a process, it would be very difficult to produce products for your patients.